Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time, and I have a treat for you. Pleasure. Somebody's creating something very powerful that I want to share with the entire audience. Let's welcome Sean to the show. How you doing, Sean?
Good.
Awesome.
What's up?
Not much, man. So I'm guessing that's a virtual background. You're not actually sitting somewhere where it's snowing.
No, I wish, but I'm in sunny Southern California.
All right, very, very cool. Well, Sean, thank you very much for agreeing to do this publicly. Catch everybody up on. You signed up for my course, How to Get Started One Rental at a Time. I don't know, a month ago, a couple weeks ago. You're going through it. You like to create visualizations to kind of structure the flow, which I thought was awesome. You sent me a draft that I was amazed by, and instead of trying to go back and forth on subtle tweaks, I thought we should share it with the world. So that everybody can see what you've created and really see what I try to teach in the course. And also we could it's easier to give feedback when we go back and forth. So is that kind of fair how we got here?
Yes, for sure.
Awesome. So Sean, do me a favor, share what you have created already. We'll go through it once and then we'll tweak it if we so see fit.
Okay.
So the first thing I got to ask Sean is, what do you do for a living? Because this is some pretty cool artwork. This is pretty powerful.
Well, I'm a executive director at a church, actually. So this has nothing to do with my day job. However, I love
extra stuff.
Yes, for sure. It's just my hobby, and especially as I'm learning your course,
Yeah.
I'm like, I just need like something in front of me, the ABCs as I'm starting out. So I was like, hey, is this right?
Got it. So really what you're doing here is you're basically trying to put a framework around your first 90 days.
Yes.
Right. So let's be clear, not only your first 90 days, I think this is something when we're done with it, I'm going to give away. Right. And that was kind of the deal.
Yes.
So let's walk through what you have already, and then we will tweak from here. So you basically broke down my 90-day or do this in 90 days. And I think it was 4 steps. Is that what it was?
Yes. Yeah. As of right now.
All right, so let's go through step 1 through 4, and then we'll go back and we'll kind of tweak. So step 1 is what to you?
Well, I would, for me, the very first thing is the statement on top, which is in 9 days, you must work daily for 20 minutes to learn a skill set. I feel like that's the first mindset thing that I gathered.
Yes, very well said.
Meaning, meaning.
Yeah, that's exactly the right, because what I'm trying to teach, and again, the only analogy I have is the golf swing, right? I didn't pick up a golf club till I was over 20 years old. It's unnatural. But if you do something every day for 30 days, you just get better at it. Then you go get a coach and you get even better at it. But yeah, for me, what I'm trying to teach with this buy box concept is how to learn what an average deal is inside the buy box, right? That's what I'm trying to teach. Yeah.
Yes. So first, pick a zip code. And I was listening on a handful of of your talks on whether you should do one that's near your house or out of state. So, but I went with your recommendation, which is find one near you to learn a skill set and then focus on only one zip code.
Yeah. Okay. Keep going. We'll go through this.
Okay.
So, okay.
Step 2, once you find that zip code, make sure it's 20 to 40 active listings, and then filter for a specific number of bedrooms and bathrooms. Make sure there are 20 to 40 active listings.
Yep. Good.
3, do the work every day for 20 minutes a day. Document changes, ignore everything else. And then step 4, know the average. After 60 to 90 days, you should know what an average deal is in your buy box. Once you have this skill set, then you are ready to apply to other zip codes and to find the deal or
Yeah. Okay. So I like all of this. I love the visualization. So step 4, that's absolutely right. That's the end. Whether we add another step or not, I think that is dead on. That's what I'm hoping for. So all I can do is help you see how to get to average. And then once you know average, your job is to go, okay, well, for example, if you're doing San Diego, California, and average is -1. Well, I'm not going to do that, but at least I know, right? I've done this. Now it's repeatable. I could do it somewhere else going on. But I think we can improve this a little bit. So let's go back to the top.
Okay.
So for me, what I would probably do here is I would merge step 1 and step 2 into the same step.
Okay.
You have pick a zip code. I would actually change that to set your criteria, because for some people maybe it's 1 zip code, maybe for other people in small markets it's 2 zip code. It's basically what criteria produces 20 to 40 active listings.
Okay. Got it.
I don't see those as separate steps.
All right.
Right. So step 1 is,
Yeah.
and again, step 1 might take you a little while to play with, right? Okay, is it a zip code? Is it a zip code plus size? So step 1 is okay. And the reason this is important and why step 1 may take you some time is once you have it set, it doesn't change for 60 or 90 days, right? You set up the
Yeah.
criteria, it produces 37 active listings. Well, good news, that's your criteria for the next 60 days at least. So it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be a zip code in a big market like the market I was in, Fresno, which is 1 million people. It was a zip code was part of it, but it was zip code, bedroom, size, price point. So it was all of that is step 1, in my opinion.
All right.
Step 2 for me is actually what you have as step 3. Step 2 is look at that buy box every day, document changes, all of these other components. So I would probably move 3 up to 2. And I'm
Okay.
really, 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 really glad you have the ignore everything else, because at
Yeah.
least for the 60 or 90 days, you don't look at anything else. Anything else. Like if you look on Tuesday and then you look on Wednesday and nothing changed, you're done. Move on. Go do something else. Right. If it takes you 30 seconds one day, awesome. Move on. Right. You're not doing, because in this early process, one thing you have to do is not get confused. Some people, they go, Michael, you don't get it. I'm smarter than the average people. Or Michael, I'm a real estate agent. I can multitask. And they're like, I'm going to do 2 buy boxes. Well, that's not what I recommend. You're going to get confused. So as you are learning the golf swing, learn the golf swing. Don't get confused. So again, I think you add a little language to number 3, which becomes step 2.
Yep.
Then step 3 for me, as I kind of play this out, I think this needs to be identify your weakness. What do I mean by that? Well, as you're putting your spreadsheet together, you're going to find some things that you are guessing at. For example, rent. Maybe you know it, maybe you don't. In the beginning, you're going to guess. And then over the next 60 days, you're going to highlight that as an opportunity to improve. You're going to go research that. If you guess 1,000, but it's actually 1,500, that's going to impact your cash flow.
Yeah.
Right. One thing that's in the course is make ready. Make ready is most often the one where people are confused. And make ready is one of the reasons I suggest doing local. In the course, we talk about ABC, because again, I don't want new investors to get stuck. Oh, I don't know construction costs. Who cares? In the beginning, A, B, or C works. A is turnkey, 0. C is full gut, I don't know, 40, 50 grand, whatever that is. And then B is lipstick. In the beginning, for most of you, that's one of your biggest weaknesses. Well, great. Good news. While you're learning your buy box over 60 days, you can get in your car and go drive around. Go see open houses. Go talk to contractors. Go see other investors. You can learn. Oh, by the way, I thought painting a house costs $2,500. I just talked to a guy who spent $4 grand. Got to adjust that. Right. So step 3 for me is identifying your weakness. Like, I don't know what closing costs are. Well, great. Somewhere down the line, go talk to a title company. I don't know what insurance is. Well, great. Guess. Then go get a quote. Say, hey, I'm looking at 123 Main Street. Da, 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 da. Right. So step 3 for me is identify your weakness and improve. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
Also, I think I would throw in step 3, network. Grow your network. 2 people a week. I think I would add that as kind of a extra bullet point.
Yeah.
Because that's really goes to weakness. A lot of new investors get lost in the math. I want you to use the spreadsheet that's in the course to identify your weakness so that you can meet new people, right? You're weak on construction? Great. Well, talk to other investors, go see projects, ask questions. You're good on construction, but you don't know what rent is? Great. Go talk to a property. You don't know what property management costs? Great. Go talk to property man. The whole spreadsheet is just rows and columns, but it is really a way to identify where you are weak.
So in other words, the temptation for someone new like me is in 69 days, I got to buy something. But what you're saying is actually recognize, identify weaknesses, improve, network, grow in those areas instead of thinking about buying. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that if I need to say it, I'll say it right here. My goal of how to get started one rental at a time is not to get you to a point to buy. It is simply, Sean, to improve your weaknesses and identify what an average deal is. I would never do an average deal, but I'm trying to teach you how to learn average. So if an average deal is 6% cash on cash, well, good. A great deal might be 10 or 11. But you have no idea, Sean. If you don't do the work, you're guessing. And I hate guessing. I don't like guessing is gambling. So I'm trying to give you a repeatable process that now thousands of people have gone through. And so I know it works. But these are some of the subtleties in it. And this visualization, I think, will help a lot of people.
Yes. And then 4 would be, where would the know, would there be a step 4? Know your average?
No, absolutely.
Or,
I think that's, I think step 4 is, have I achieved the goal? Do I know average? And if you don't, which maybe you don't, you continue. That's like, ask yourself at 60 days, do I know average yet in my buy box than my step 1 buy box? If the answer is no, well, then you just keep going.
Could you define what know the average is? So
at the end of 60 days or 90 days, you probably have a spreadsheet that has 120 records on it.
Yeah.
And with those 120 records, you started calculating and guessing. You've now improved your network. Your numbers are closer to accurate than they were day 1. By day 60, they're better, but probably not perfect. At the end of that, the spreadsheet, the very last column that's in the course is purple, my favorite color. It says yield. What you can do if you want is go down that entire column, highlight them, and if you look at the very bottom of the screen, it will say average. So you may have deals ranging from, I don't know, 6, 8, 4, 3, -5. All you do is you go, and your average is 3.2. Now you need to ask yourself, how good do you feel about those numbers? Expenses mainly. And maybe you have to continue working. You have to continue networking. You have to continue learning. Maybe you feel good. At the end of it, you should be able to tell me or anybody in your network, Michael, in my buy box from number 1, this zip code, this house, this, my average yield is 3.2, and feel good about it. If you don't feel good about it, congratulations, you have another 30 days of doing the work.
Okay. Like, I look at my spreadsheet that I'm working on right now.
Sure.
And I highlighted the yield and it's -9%.
Right. So you want to, let's stop sharing. You feel comfortable bringing that up?
Yes.
All right. So I stopped that. So share that. The purple is blue. I should have known better. That's okay.
Yeah.
I should have made it purple. So there you go. So let me just look at this real quick. So what of these numbers do you feel like? Mortgage payment is simply math, so that feels pretty good.
Yeah.
Insurance and taxes, are you guessing, or have you talked to anybody?
Well, I'm right now mainly looking at just the Redfin, that when it says property tax and insurance.
So again, these are opportunities to improve. Maybe they're right, maybe they're wrong. I have no idea. Expense vacancies, you're just taking 10% of monthly rent. How do you feel about the rent numbers?
The rent numbers, I mean, I did do some research, just different places, and I feel pretty good. Like 3,400 for a 3.2 is solid.
Okay. Yeah, I don't no idea.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So again, most of these are alligators. You got a couple of positive, right? Anything with the brackets, folks, is Excel speak for losing money. We don't do alligators. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So assuming
the one that's positive actually I have rows where I'm playing with it, like in the chance I do a seller finance.
Okay.
And I tweak the numbers.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason why, like, there's one that's 18%, because I'm like, but again, that's the other question. Within 90 days, I'm not assuming I can do seller finance, right? I feel like that requires different level of that requires more experience and skill set, versus like being able
Well,
to.
again, so there's a couple of things. First off, kudos. The power of this spreadsheet, once you learn average, is you can play with the numbers to move yield. So you're already doing that. I would tell you you're probably doing it sooner than most people, but that's the power of this spreadsheet. Because what I do in mine, right? Let's say mine was -14, just for example. What I would do eventually is go, what do I have to do to this thing to get it to be 10% positive? And the good news is you can play with price and down payment. You can play with the interest rate. You can play with rent. There's all these other factors that you can play with. But that's a more advanced skill. I would tell you, Sean, that's a step 2.
Okay.
You got to get to the average first. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the only other thing I don't see here is make ready. Is that just assuming all of these are turnkey?
The make ready is under G, under condition. I'm just doing ABC.
All right, but so these numbers are even worse. So
yeah.
if it's A, you're okay because that's turnkey.
Yes.
But if it's B or C, you have make ready costs that you're throwing in. So these numbers are even worse.
Yes.
Right, because make ready is cash out of pocket. It goes to the denominator, all of those things. But that's okay, right? In the beginning, A, B, or C is fine. What your job to do, again, I did like step 3, I think we've agreed is where are you weak? That's, in the future, you'll be putting 30 grand, 40 grand, 12 grand, whatever.
Would you recommend in the first 90 days not doing ABC and just actually learning that skill set and seeing what cost make ready might be?
Well, again, it's where you are in the process. I think the first 30 days for folks, A, B, or C is fine.
Okay.
When what I would probably do is I would create a legend maybe on the right, and I would just say A equals 0, B equals 20, C equals 40. Because because when you're doing A, B, or C, it's actually not a fair calculation.
Yeah.
Right. So, and then, by day 31 or day 32, you start leading contractors and then you play with your legend ABC. Does that make sense?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Because the last thing I'd want you to do is not include 30 grand, which hurts yield.
Yeah. So this idea of knowing the average is like, this is like a northern part of San Diego, and averaging that the last yield column right now, it's showing up as -9%. Now let's say I do this after 90 days, and it goes to -3%. Okay, so I would say that's the average of
your buy box. Step 1.
My buy box.
Your buy box.
My buy box. Yeah, correct. My buy box. And then once I know I'm comfortable with that skill set, now phase 2 would be for me to find the zip code where maybe out of state, where I have friends, or that maybe the houses median is about 150,000, where I could do a 20% down, right? Is that the idea?
Yeah. So at the end of step 1, you're going to ask yourself, do I need to learn anymore, right? How good do I feel about understanding make ready? How good do I feel about doing this? How good do I feel about that? Because if you're not quite there yet, then you spend an extra 2 weeks. This is all about getting to the point where you feel good about saying the average is -3 in your example.
Yeah.
So until you feel good, you're not out of step 1.
Okay.
You're into step 2 when you could say, I know that the average in my buy box is -3%, and I will not buy here. The return's not there. Some people, Sean, will say, hey, if my buy box, like some people will say, I have to invest in San Diego. I won't invest anywhere else. If my average buy box is -3, a great deal is +2. And all they will do is look for +2s. I'm not here to judge. If you consider 2 your thing because you have to be in San Diego, you're a control freak, great. I'm not here to judge what you consider great. That's your call.
I see. So that would be my determination. That's a great deal.
Yeah. So again, you do the work at
-3%. Yeah. And then a good deal would be 0%.
I don't know, 0.
A great deal would be 2%.
Yes. That's what you're saying. If your buy box after 90 days or 100 days produces a -3, that is average.
Yeah.
Then you add percentage points. And then again, if the average is -3 and you found a 2, that would be great. And now again, I'm not sitting here telling you to do a 2.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here saying you make the call. That's on
Yeah.
you. If there are a lot of people, Sean, that say, I will only invest 30 minutes from home. So they're going to do this exercise, and in 90 days, they're going to tell me the average of my neighborhood is -3.
Okay.
But they're going to do the work for the next year. And if they find one deal that's a 2, they're going to buy it. And that's totally okay. You at least know.
Isn't there, I think you guys like generally recommend like 6%, 8%. Isn't there like a general objective?
When you hear
There
those
isn't.
numbers quoted, I'm giving you what I look for. But who's to say I'm not investing in San Diego?
Yeah.
San Diego's tough. Austin is tough. I am not here to judge anybody's great deal. If you do the work and you have family reasons that you only want to invest within walking distance, then that's on you. That's not on me.
I see.
If you're sitting here going, Michael, I can invest anywhere in the country, I'm comfortable, well, then great. I'm here to tell you that -3 sucks and you might want to look elsewhere. But I'm not going to tell you that. Hey, again, if you want to invest 30 minutes from home, you have a little circle around your home, go learn what average is, and then only do great deals. I'm not going to judge you. Again, if your buy box is -3 and you found a 2, you should buy it because most of the shit you're buying is negative cash flow.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense.
All right. So you'll tweak that, send it back, and then maybe we'll share this again with everyone.
Absolutely.
All right. Any other questions about this?
No. What's the best way to send this to you? Through Facebook or email?
Email, probably. I'm old, so I'm an email guy.
Yeah, so I'll tweak it. I'll email it to you, and then if you have any edits or suggestions, let me know, and
Appreciate you.
we'll make it a final product.
There you go, Sean. I appreciate you. Thank you for doing this work.
I would love to do this at every phase, though. So I'll just FYI, I want to do this at every phase. That way, I know there are people like me. They're just like, can I see it in writing? And so
that's why you're here. So
yeah,
no
awesome. Thank you.
Take care. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.